All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to apostle and elders in New York, GMS, and salutation to y'all around the world that's teaching truth and putting your lives on the line for it. And shalom to you serious sisters that's listening, looking at our videos. All right. My name is Maya Ka'ala, Bun Gad, with Chicago branch of Great Millstone. All right. And I'd like to make a disclaimer that we are not black Hebrew Israelites. All right. Nobody is the color of this font right here, this ink or this font in this Bible, man. All right. You're not going to see anybody around the world walking around looking like that. All right. And neither you going to see any person white like this page around the world looking like that, man. All right. So those are bywords, man. All right. Okay. Black, white, those were, those are basically lies, man. All right. Because the term white came in, I believe, 1681. All right. And within that same era, the 17th century, black was applied to the Israelites. All right. Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. So black is a color. All right. All right. And white is a color. All right. Okay. Those are not nationalities. All right. So we are not black Hebrew Israelites. We are Israelites. All right. Israelites, again, are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. The people that's erroneously called white people, those are Edomites. Those are the sons of Edom, Esau. All right. Edom, Esau saying, yeah, all right. Esau, Ashawa, means wasted is he. All right. Edom was Adamam. All right. Means red. All right. Because their skin is translucent, their red flesh shows through. All right. And then also you have among others, you have the speckled birds, man. Israelites who look like other nations, but their forefathers are the 12 patriarchs of Israel. Okay. A good example of that is Blake Griffin's son. Okay. Another good example of that is Halle Berry Fonte granddaughter through Halle Berry Fonte's son. Okay. And we are not affiliated with any black identity or string groups. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. We are not affiliated with any Islamic groups. Okay. All right. So, it's, Black History Month. All right. Again, we're not black. All right. So basically just celebrate the accomplishments of the so-called Negroes, the tribe of Judah, so-called West India tribe of Benjamin, the so-called Haitians, the tribe of Levi. All right. All right. Well, basically, it's all Israelite history. All right. It's the history of all 12 tribes of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. So, they're going to hit you with what I call the three, unholies of Black History Month: Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. All right. And Rosa Parks. All right. Sometimes Rosa Parks replaced by Harriet Tubman. All right. So they keep you in this mind frame from basically from captivity time, around so-called 1619, even though you look in history, our bondage started, somewhere here in America, bondage started in 1492 when they took down the Moors and the Jews. And the Moors were none but Israelites, Jews who took on philosophy of Islam. That's all it is, man. All right, because they wouldn't came on over here to Americas and the slave ships and the Spanish and Portuguese colonies. All right. All right, so they have you starting, think your history started at 1619, talking to you so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, man. All right, that's what they want you to believe. All right, and they think they got you believing that you're Hamites, so-called Africans, man, when it's not. But what they don't tell you, all right, you come from a lot of you rule Europe during the Dark Age. It's called the Dark Ages because what the Israelites ruled, man. The so-called Negroes West Indians and Haitian ancestors ruled Europe, man. All right. And go right here, I had to prove that, all right. And it says right here, it says Genesis 35:10. All right. It says right here, it says what? It said, the Most High said unto him, thy name is Jacob. When he supplanted, Yahweh means supplanted. Thy name should not be called anymore Yahweh, but Israel was correctly Yashar, mean he prince of power. All right, we're the sons of the living power, man. All right, shall be thy name, and he called his name Yashar. All right, in English, Israel. All right, but it's correctly it's Yashar. It said, and Most High said unto him, I am Yahweh, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company nation shall be of thee. All right. And this is also a good precept in Matthew 28 when Yahweh has said, go teach the nations. All right. It's talking about the Israelites. All right. It's not talking about any other, man. You have to remember the Acts chapter 5, 29, 31. Yahweh said, Paul tell you who Yahweh shall die for is what? The nation of Israel. All right. And sins don't mean nations, man. All right. So you Christians, you go hit the road with that, man. All right, it says, and a company of nations shall build thee, and kings shall come out thy loins. Right, man, kings, man. All right. When talking about during the dark age, also also in the future, man, when Yahshua, Israel, so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, be rise up and put back in our glory by Yahweh Shai, the one everybody. Yahweh is the one everybody called God. Yahweh Shai is the one everybody ignorantly called Jesus, man. Right? Because there's no letter J in the ancient Hebrew language, man. All right. There's no J sounding letters. All right. It says right here is and Yahweh Shai, the one everybody called G. He came from the tribe of Judah. He always came from the nation of Israel. Guess what he spoke? He spoke Hebrew. All right. As you said in the ancient tongue. Arbar or Arbar-Yah, all right, which means from the past, all right, because our ancestors, Arbar, which is the ancestor, which is the descendant of Shem, all right, what people ignorantly call Shem. He held on to the old language that was spoken once all over the earth, man. All right, he held on to it, and he passed it down to us, all right. It says right here, it says, Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. It said, I saw the angel come down from heaven, having the key of a bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. All right, so John Revelator, he saw an angel. The angel represents Yahweh Shai. The key in the bottomless pit does Europe, and a great chain in his hand, all right, which represents captivity. All right, and he laid hold on a dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil. All right, and that's serpent, that's Esau, man. All right, and precept there's in Genesis chapter, because Esau was that serpent in the garden in the past life. All right, then what, he became Cain, then he became what, Esau. All right, and devil mean deceiver, man, because that's what Edomites do, man. They lie and deceive. Especially about history, man. All right. Especially about this history I'm about to go into. All right. And the word Satan means adversary, man. The nation Edom are our adversaries. And bow him 1,000 years. All right. And bow him for 1,000 years, man. Go with Septemverius had conquered Rome, I believe 193 AD. Up to 400 and I think 1901, that was the last. Yeah, that was because Queen Victoria was the last Israelite royalty that sat on the throne, man. All right, so a little bit over, so it's around 1,000 years. All right. It says and cast him to the bottomless pit, shut him up, set a seal upon it. He should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years be fulfilled. After that, he must be loose. Right, because he had to leave after that's the Renaissance, man. That's when he start breaking all the images and having you think that the original Scots, British, Irish, Welsh, Okay, making them think they so-called, making them think they Edomites, so-called white people, man. But that's totally the opposite, man. All right, and then he got you thinking that the so-called Negroes in America, that they're a bunch of Hamites, African. All right, that they just can't, it had history, man. All right, because the first slaves came from Spain and Portugal, man. As I said before, man. And those were Moranos, they were Jews. But also, when you'll know that some of the slaves came from Ireland, Scotland, all that stuff, man. All right, and I'm gonna bring that out later on, man. All right, so, all right, can you go in this book right here, the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Ham. All right. I know many of you brothers know this, but I'm just doing this for the people that don't know. In the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, definition of ham, and well, I suggest you get the oldest edition to you people that's new. It says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark race, meaning the beginner. Not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. All right, so you so-called Negroes, so-called West Indians, so-called Haitians, you're not Africans, you're not Hamites. All right, and the scholars agreed upon that. This is Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Okay. All right. So there you go, man. Scholars said that. All right, so this is the book, the Negro Question, Part 4, missing link. All right, you can see right here, you got King James, King of Scots, and the word Scots go back to the word Scotos, which means dark. All right, go to his son Charles. All right, go to Irish right there, Jamaica. All right, you can see right here the Irish. Yeah, it's so hard. Made the order anyway a long time ago to bring out the books about the icons and stuff. Start bringing them back out. All right, you can see that's King James. You can see all the images, man. Scottish King Alexander, location artifact. All right, image of King Malcolm, long neck King of Scotland. All right, 1093 AD. All right, this is stuff they had. This is stuff you go to some of those colleges, man. All right, this image of King Charles. King Charles I had the unlucky extent having his head cut off by the English white subject, right? Esau in this round. They ain't white, man. Those were Edomites living among our people. All right. So there you go, man. All right. All right, you can see right here what it says. It said King Charles I had the unlucky distinction having his head cut off by the English. All right, these were Edomites, not our people. They weren't the English subjects. In his realm, King Charles I was the only one to suffer indignation when the English overran the country. They hung and decapitated men, raped the women. That's why some of our people bleached out over there in England, man. But guess what, man? If he is like man, pop a Edomitis tear, that child's Israelite could deceive his father, man. Even though the child come out a little bit light, then that child married a Edomite woman, passed her. So that's how Jake come bleached out. Some of the Jakes come bleached out over there in England and Scotland over there. It said burn the sentencing estates and dash the children against the stone. This is a bit of history that is not taught reporting as right, man, because they had it, man, from our people. All right. That's when they beheaded Charles. All right. And you see Charles I, he's called what? Black boy. All right. He says what? He was the king of England, Wales, and France, Scott, All right, and the word frank means generous, man. Ain't nothing generous about you, you Edomites, man. You're not generous, man. And that was an example I just read. Right, that you're not generous, man. Ain't nothing generous about you, man. All the Israelites are generous, compassionate people, man. Hibernia, Spain, and Ireland. Hibernia, what? Arbar, Hebrew, man. All right, you got the Jacobites or the Comforters. All right. Let's see, history. It says right here, it says, after Cromwell had executed the king Charles Cromwell the Edomite and ravaged the three kingdoms that the Jacobites, all right, because they was descendants of Jacob, all right. All right, Ite means descent connected to. Jacob's what? Yaquad, all right. So the descendants of Jacob, Israel. It said, tried to restore the black steward kings to power. They were known as Jacobites. One should name himself Jacob, and another shall name himself Israel. You are going to see statements like these through the book, but they are intended for another audience. They know who they are. While I was up working on the image, I began to see the solemnly document with a subtle way of the three kingdoms to actually take a sense, because the people had to sign their names and give personal information. It looks like the king was recording the kingdom before some great tragedy occurred. All right. It says right here, it's a solemn league and a covenant for reformation, defense of religion, the honor and happiness of the king, the peace and safety of the three kingdoms, England, Scotland, Ireland. We know when barons, knights, gentlemen, citizens, burghers, ministers of the gospel and commons of all sorts, the kingdom of England, Scotland, Ireland, by the providence of the Most High, living under the king and being one reformed religion. All right. Have before I asked the glory of the Most High and investment in the kingdom of our Lord and Savior. All right, was Yahweh Mashiach, the honor and happiness of the king, majesty and prosperity and true public liberty, safety and peace of the kingdoms where everyone private condition is included, calling to the man the treacherous and bloody plots, conspiracies, attempts, and practice of the enemies of the Most High against the true religion. It's talking about Esau, man. Also talking 2/3 of the Israelites, man. That was their rebellion, man. Because you had Jake, they didn't like certain kings, man. And they were ruling the dark age because they was stern, man. All right, they weren't going for that nonsense, man. All that idolatry and stuff, man. It said, therefore, in all places, especially in these three kingdoms, ever since the reform of religion, how much their rage and power perception of late, and at this time increasing exercise. Wherefore, the deplorable state of church and kingdom of Ireland, the distress of state and church in the kingdom of England, the dangerous state of the church, the kingdom of Scotland, are present public testimony we had now, at least after other means, supplication, remonstrance, protestations, sufferings, and the preservation of ourselves and our religion from utter ruin and destruction, according to the commendable price of the kingdoms in former times, example of the Most High's people and other nations, after the mature deliberation, resolved, determination, centered in a mutual and solemn league and covenant. All right, it's talking about Israelites, man, and other nations scattered in a covenant. All right. Whereby we all subscribe, and each one of himself and our hands lift up to the Most High God, swear that we shall liken them out without respect persons, endure the extirpation of popery, prelacy, that is the church governed by the archbishops and their chancellors, commissary deans and chapters, archdeacons, and all the ecclesiastical officer, depend on the hierarchy, superstition, hearsay, schism, profane, whoever shall be found to be contrary to sound doctrine and the power of godliness. Lest we partake in our man sin, therefore be in danger, receive their plagues, and that the Lord may be one. All right, they ain't believing that the Lord may be one, his name one in three kingdoms. All right. All right, so these were Israelites. You can see right here, it said this is the image of Richard Cameron, a commenter, but as you see, they try to paint his face white, right? Try to paint him as Esau. And you can see that this is a black Irishman. All right. These were the people that were sold to the American captivity. These were sold to American captivity. I have a greater witness than this. All right. You can see right here, man, how they try to paint the ancestor as an Edomite, man. All right. And you'll see right. I'm gonna show you the Irish. Like right here, the Irish coat of arms. It says this is the image of a black Irish coat of arms from the Gilbert family. 3 of the Gilberts related to this coat of arms have been traced to the Barbados. Thomas Gilbert, Barbados, 1635. Francis Gilbert, Virginia, 1736. Robert Gilbert, Barbados, 1678. The timeline fits with the eyewitness account of Irish being shipped to the slave trade, but I have a greater witness of this. All right. You can see right here, the children of black. I said this book was written by Jesuit priest John J. Williams and was published in 1932 by Anywhere Press. This book of John described the black Irish were deported to slavery in Jamaica as black people. The pieces you see on this page are images of some of the Irish children. Once I located this image, I want you to show the entire front cover of the book so you can have it for your reference. All right, so there you go, man. All right, you see the pictures of some of the Irish. All right, getting hanged and lynched. This is what they had, man. All right, it says you can see it right here. You can see that's a so-called Negro. As you can see, there's an attempt to white out this black Irish, but some blackness remain intact. The image comes to you directly from the Irish Library, Ireland. This is what Irish Europeans look like. All right, and these were the people sold into the Americans. Remember, the Irish was black in the 1600s. All right, you can see it right here. You can see the women, they take our children, put them on pikes. All right, a lot of you so-called Negroes, West Indians, and you're descendants from the Irish, Scottish, and Welsh slaves, man. It's, I don't want to speculate, but for some particular reasons, some of the images show Irish to be people of color. What we are seeing, a deliberate attempt to conceal the blackness of the Irish and Scottish people. I am only to interest in color these people for the sake of proving you that these people are among us. They think they come to Africa. They came from Europe, right? And that's what Esau do, man. The school says he teach that what we all come from Africa, but it's not, man. All right. You can see right here. All right. You see, they'll go to coat of arms, image of Earl Gilbert right here. Claire coat of arms. All right. Image location book of Tewkesbury Abbey in the Wikipedia Encyclopedia. The image of Gilbert or Earl of Clare, Hertford, Ireland, currently be found in St. Mary Virgin Church, Tewkesbury in English County, Gloucestershire. And this is where my family from. All right, cause my surname is Blackwell. All right, so I trace my ancestors to them, man. My ancestor, he was they was in politics. The mayor, man. One was a knight. One was a knight. All right. I believe the other one he was like the politician in London. All right. It says not only is the black Irish Earl being depicted as a black man, but the coat of arms depict him as a black man. All right. All right. It says this Cromwell edict. It said those fail to transplant themselves to Connaught or Clare within 6 months should be guilty of high treason. You'll be sent to America and some other parts beyond. They said it's part of the curse, man. Deuteronomy 28:68, Deuteronomy 28:64. All right. I'm gonna come back to this book later on, but this right here, this book right here, To Hell or Barbados. All right. Go to page All right. And this about the slave trade. All right, but like I said, man, you had the speckled birds, you know, and you had the Irish that remained a dark skin color, man. Both are Israelites, man. They were the seeds of the original Irish, Scottish, and British, man. All right. You are the seed of your father. That's who was on these slave ships. All right. It says right here, it said the working 77 says the working roundup people of transportation will carry out very thorough to the government agents throughout the country. These man catchers, they was called, were mounted, armed with long whips to herd unfortunate people into holding pens outside the cities and towns. Much of cattle were driven, fairs and Ireland recent past. It says here they were branded with initials of the ship that would take them to Barbados or Virginia. They were attached together with ropes around their neck. Long march to the seaport, Sulphur Island, began. Their mere food was barely enough to sustain life. Those who fell by the way, weak from hunger or disease, were left where they fell. All right. We'll go down here. It says what? There was a special demand for young women, marriageable, not passing breeding, all right, who was eagerly sought after the sugar plantation, who, to quote Henry Conway, had only negress maroon women to solace him. The maroon was called by the Spanish Cimarron wild man, descendant of slaves who fled to the mountain. It said the man cats were paid £4 or £4.10 by the ship captains for every young woman or child. There's a reference to the number of children involved. A note the public records office held in Kew Garden. Sir John Clockworthy was given a license by a board of trade to transfer 1,000 children to Virginia. It says the historian Dr. Thomas Addis in his book Ireland under English Rule, or a plea to Plato, published in New York in 1903, said over 100,000 young children who were orphans or had been taken from their Catholic parents were sent or brought to slavery in the West Indies, Virginia, New England, that they might thus lose their faith and all knowledge of their nationality. All right. Of their national, what is that? Israel, man. All right. Because 200 years ago, the Irish, they knew they was Israelites, man. It's for in most instances, even, well, over a little 200 years ago, for in most instances, even their names were changed, all right? Because these people, they came from distinct bloodlines, man. Nobility and royal. There seems to be an exaggerated estimate, but the trade in children and young women flourish, all right? This go with, they lose their faith and knowledge. They'll go with Jeremiah 17:4. This seemed to exaggerate estimate, but the trade in their children, young women flourished. We had the names of some of these slave ships, primarily in Bristol, but some London, which called, you see right here, I wrote the scriptures. All right. Because you got this guy named Quanar. He don't like Israelites that look like other nations, man. But like I said, you had a mixture, man. Some who looked like their original forefathers, some who didn't, man. Speckled birds. At the Irish ports, the Lane and Susan, Mary, Elizabeth, and the two brothers, these were the same ships that were used to transport black slaves, or I mean dark brown slaves, from the west coast of Africa. All right, these were Israelites. These are the same ships that was going to West Africa, picking up the Israelites from West Africa. They was also picking up the Israelites from Ireland, Scotland, and you know. All right. So there you go, man. So. All right, so this, so go to, back to this, see some more stuff. All right. You see, they torturing our people, man, massacring them. All right, like them freeze to death, all types of stuff, man. You got a lot to pay for, man. Amos 1:11. All right. You see right here the illustrated history of Ireland, illustrated history of Ireland. You can see the dark-skinned people. All right. All right. It said this was a late addition to the book, but as you can see, Nun, Mary, and Frances depict the Irish as a people of color. The author of this book was an Irish nun by the name of Mary Frances of Kilmar, Dublin. The interesting thing, this woman, is that they aren't really good images of her. The word Dublin means black in Irish. And you could see the king and the priest were depicted as black men. In Chicago, we use the word dub to refer a $20 bill, ebonus, and fin to refer to the $5 bill. A fin in Irish was a white gentle, and the dub was a black Gentile. I never knew these were Irish words until I began to do the research of this book and the language these people live on in the ghettos today. All right. All right. What it says, Psalms 85, what truth shall spring out the earth. All right, so this is part one. Shalom.